Hello everyone and welcome back to this episode of Ace Luckstar Gaming. We're going to be playing the Pro Cycling Manager, and we're playing the 2017 edition, as you can see here. But we've got the 2018 rosters loaded, and we're going to be racing at Milano Sanremo. And this is a classic race from the Tour, and we're racing as the UAE Team Emirates. And we've brought the team with Fabio Aru, Dan Martin, Ben Swift, Rui Costa, Valero Conti, Marco Marcato, Darwin Antipuma, and Simone Patelli. And I would say that in this race that Dan Martin's going to be our dark horse because his fitness for the race is only 81%. We're probably going to set our leader status as Fabio Aru as we get started right here. And I'm just going through and setting everybody to 99, trying to get them up front, because I worry about keeping them back in the back of the pack. I would rather my entire team come to the front of the race and guard Fabio Aru up here in the front, just simply because it's safer. Back in the back of the pack, you can get knocked over a lot, and especially if it gets weather such as rain, anything like that, it can really play on our cyclists. And just looking at some of the overall fitness for these guys, Dan Martin's coming in this race right here at 81% fitness. Fabio Aru is at 91. Rui Costa is 81%. That's why I was looking at breakaway riders. Valero Conti is at 98% fitness. He's only a 72 overall, but he could ride in the break really well, and they would let him go. And Patelli is also 97 fitness, and he's a 70 overall. So as you can see, I've started the breakaway with Patelli out there, and they're letting him go. Got to just take Adipuma here and stop him for a second. But all in all, I really do believe that Fabio Aru is going to be our best choice here. And we're still just bringing our cyclists up to the front, trying to get them all up here together, because that way they stay a little bit safer. Because when you're back in the peloton, crazy things can happen. You can really have a lot of bad luck. And we're going back up here to the front of the pack here and checking on Patelli and seeing just what he's got. I mean, you can see +2, +3, +3. He's even +5 on stats. He's in really good condition for this. And Aru's not in the greatest. Marcato is not great at all, having kind of a bad day. So these guys will just stay back in the pack, go back, get water bottles as needed. I mean, this is a long race. 278 kilometers still left to go down in the right corner. So we still have a long way to go. So up here in the front, we do have our breakaway rider out front. So we don't have to do any pacing back in the peloton. All we have to do is just sit back, ride, and watch this front group. We're out to 4 minutes, 8 seconds already. I don't think they'll let us go. I really would like our chances. That's why I brought this team, this group of 8 riders, because they're all more punchers than anything. We really did not bring any sprinters to this race. So when we race this race, we're just going to be a wildcard team, because we are here to try to wreak havoc and cause chaos. And like I've said on the channel, I don't like to do things by the book. So when we do it here in this race, we're not going to let them line up for a conventional race of allowing the sprinters to gang up on everybody. By the time this race is over, I hope to blow the doors off this race and really take it to everybody. See if we can't shock and bring either Fabio Aru to the win or Dan Martin as a dark horse to the win. If Dan Martin's fitness had been a little bit better, then Dan would have been our leader for this race. But I'm just worried that at 81% fitness, by the time we get to the end of this classic race, he's not going to be able to handle it. And I'm fast forwarding it here because this is such a long race. But it's about time to send Ben Swift back, fetch water bottles for the entire team. Better let Patelli go back, get himself a water bottle. It won't be hard for him because there's only 7 riders up here in the breakaway group, and we're still going to do our pulls here at the start. As you can see up in the right corner, 59 to 69 or so, hanging around there. We can pull that and not have to expend too much energy. I always like to set it 59 when I'm cycling through, whether I'm pulling it by myself or I'm actually doing pulls with the entire breakaway group. I always like to stay about 59 because if you go over 60, it starts hitting into your cyclist energy, and I don't want to do that. I want to stay at 59. That way his energy always stays up, and if it gets a little much and they start pulling heavy, then we just won't take pulls. We'll sit on the back of the pellet or the breakaway and we'll just ride. They'll get mad at that eventually, but I just don't want to put our rider in too much of harm's way because we're trying to save him, especially if the breakaway makes it. I mean, we're up to 5 minutes 15 seconds, and if the breakaway does succeed and make it all the way to the end, then we're still going to try to blow it apart, and we're going to try to squeak out a win with our breakaway rider up in the front and win out of the 7 racers. Like I said, I think with this being such a well-established race, they are not going to let us go. I mean, we're already down to 4.5 minutes. They are already catching. We're about 136 kilometers away, and I'm going to slow it down here in a second and just see. We've made it over the big climb, and now we're heading down. We're down here in the flats. We're about to hit 2 minor little hills to go up, and we're just going to take a second here. Go ahead and fetch water bottles again for Patelli. Get him some water bottles, and we're probably going to let Darwin and Tapuma get these water bottles for the next group, and because Darwin's fitness is only 80%, so he's not going to be much good for us at the end. He's not going to win. He's just here to support the team, to support Fabio Aru and Dan Martin. So between Ben Swift, Dario, and Tapuma, that's what they'll do, is they'll just get water bottles. Now, at the end of the... Oh, and we've had a fall. Oh, no. Fabio Aru is falling. We'll slow it down here, go back and check on him. And see, that's the thing about being in the front. We were at the front of the peloton, and because we fell, we did not make it all the way out of the back of the peloton, which means we stayed in the peloton. Our riders were able to gather themselves back up. Had we been in the middle or the back of the peloton, when they crashed, Fabio Aru would have fallen off the back, and he would have been 2 or 3 minutes behind, and then we would have been playing catch up, and we would have used all their energy, and it would have killed us. So because we were at the front, and he falls off of his bike, then he was able to get back on his bike before the entire 173 to 177 guys went past. He got back on his bike and made it back to the front, and now Fabio's made it back up to the front of the peloton with the rest of our team. So that's the strategy. That's why I like to stay on the front. We got rain coming in now, and we're 95 kilometers away. We're about to hit this next big, well, I guess it's one of their only mountainous little areas. It's actually still only considered a hill, but it is a pretty nasty climb, as you can see here. About middle ways up, it gets in the red, and but it's still too far out at 93 kilometers to even really matter. All this is to do is they put these hills in the classics just to destroy the riders in the middle of the races, and up and down over the hills. Well, eventually, any rider not on good fitness, not on good form, or just overall not good, it will zap them of their legs, so that by the time we get to the end and we get to those two small hills at the end, they won't be able to stay there. Or any sprinter that's not good, they won't be able to make it there either. So like I said, I'm hoping that by the time we get to the end, we're going to blow this race apart. We're not going to go conventional, because we really don't have a sprinter. If it came down to a sprint, the only person we really have is Ben Swift, that can even sprint even a little. But I've been using him all day to gather water bottles, just like he is now. So with him gathering water bottles, it's taking him down. You can see his yellow bar is down just a little, and so he's had to exert just a little bit of energy today. Dan Martin's still really good. Fabio, see, that worries me about Fabio falling, because with him falling, he had to exert a little energy to come back up to the front. And so you see his energy bar is down just a little in the blue. It'll slowly build back up, but because Dan was already up front and didn't fall, Dan's now in better shape. The only difference is there's about 10% overall fitness. Fabio is still a little more fit than he is. We're going to speed it on up, though. Getting close. Now, I always like, no matter if their water bottles are full or not, after I get past 50 kilometers, that's the magic, kind of the magic area, they can ride with a bottle of water about 50 kilometers. So I like to get under 50. Here we are about 40. That's where we'll get it. Just looking through the things here, the map, the profile. One of the things that I did want to look at is the riders. You know, you look, Bora Hansgrohe's got Peter Sagan, Mark Cavendish, Demar, Matthews, Kittel, Gavaria, Degenkolb, Cobrelli, Buhani, Greipel, Groenewegen, our Ben Swift, Ewing, Nason. Then you got Kwiatkowski, Alejandro Valverde, Modola, Rollins. Then you have Magnus Cort Nielsen, Belletti, Gardine, Markoval, and Perrine. All these top teams have all brought sprinters, and we have not. And we're down to a 147. They're closing in fast. We're getting ready to hit these last two. So at this point in time, I've had to put Patelli. They've got it so high of a cadence, I have just decided to set on. And it's already even destroying him. He's just setting on. He's not making a pull. Trying to make it to the end, but they've already got us down to almost a minute. They're coming on very, very strong. There's no way this breakaway is going to make it, because by the time we hit that last small climb, the bigger racers, the stronger racers, and as you can see, they already caught us. They were just too strong. The teams were too strong here today. So now we're back with our teams here. The thing is, Patelli has used up some of his energy, but because he was up front, he's not completely zapped. As you can look at Fabio Aru, already down to half yellow. He's done. Dan Martin still in good shape. It's looking like we're going to end up having to back Dan through here, because he's not used as much energy as the rest. He still nearly has all of his energy, as you can see. He's all the way yellow except just a tiny speck of blue seen. Fabio Aru is only at half, has half of his stamina and health right here. So it looks like Dan Martin's going to be our man. So as soon as we get to the bottom of this next climb, we'll go around these two turns, and you can see there's a banner up here ahead. It's the 10-kilometer mark. Somewhere around there is where you can see the the white and red banner. That's where we look to make our move. We're going to take Dan Martin right here, and we're going to give him his energy gel, and We'll give everybody their energy gels here in just a minute, because might as well. We're getting down here to the 11 kilometers or so. And we're going to take Dan Martin, and we're going to attack with him, because at this point we're trying to blow this race apart. Like I told you, nothing here is conventional. I don't like playing by the rules. I don't like sitting and waiting. Let's go have some fun. So we're going to attack right here at 10 kilometers. It may work, it may not, but it's a whole lot more fun than just sitting back in the peloton and losing the race because we're not the fastest team. UAE Team Emirates is a team that's has good makeup, not a lot of wins because they don't have that superstar, but I like the makeup of the team because they have a lot of quality racers on this team, a lot of good quality racers. So here we're trying to get up there with Martin. We got about a 16-second lead, 17 right now. Now it's down to 15. There's a couple of riders. There was Julian Alaphilippe. I'm kind of worried about him. Nicky Terpstra, even Alejandro Valverde. I'm worried about those guys catching us because they are a little more powerful than Martin and a little quicker. But if Martin can get down, and who's this? Julian Alaphilippe. That's a bummer. He caught us. This is the man that I don't think that we can take in a sprint. I think he's just a little too powerful. Stopping right here, I mean, trying to look at, we'll try to bring on a couple more guys to get them up to the front, but I don't think it's really going to matter. We can go ahead and start Rui Costa in a sprint. We can even start Aru in a sprint, but it's going to be hard to beat Julian Alaphilippe. So we'll go ahead and take off right here with Dan Martin, and now Philippe's too. Oh, coming to the inside. It's Nicky Terpstra got us on the line. He got us on the line. Well, we did finish third. Peter Sagan is fourth. So here comes all those sprinters. We actually did come in third, which we would have got some nice points here in the World Tour, and got Dan Martin a really, really good third place result, all because we didn't play by the rules.